to Preach Care Preach with Rashad. We are the prophets. Here in the episode, another sermon coming at you with 12 Ounce Sports, Zingo TV, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you can listen to us. Rashad, man, what's going on?
You know what it is, man. Another dope pod to step to.
Yes, sir. The prophets are back together again. You had a good little trip. We were talking about it before the show. I need me vacation soon, man.
Shoot, well, I'm ready for another one.
Right.
I mean, hey, I understand we gotta be safe and all, man. So I'm wearing my mask, taking my disinfectant everywhere I go and everything. But man, still want to live a little life, enjoy a little vacation, and see a little bit of this world, man.
I'm gonna say, let me tell you, somebody else who's going on vacation real soon. That'd be the Miami Heat. After this down 3-1,
Man,
it's about time. It's about time. NBA Finals about to be over with.
I mean, it ain't the fact they down 3-1. It's the fact they wearing no Mamba jerseys.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Boy. That's all she wrote. That was it. I think they're 4-0 in those jerseys this year. So I mean, that's it, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, it really, I know you're really watching it. I know you on the NBA basketball ban because your Clippers and the Celtics didn't make it. But I'm gonna tell you what I know. So far, watching the series, like outside of game one, it really has been a competitive series, like the way I thought. And I remember we were talking about it before the series started. I was like, I think Lakers go up 2-0, Heat finally get one, Lakers go up 3-1, and this is my prediction of Lakers in 6. I was like, Miami win this game, but then once they brought the Mamba jersey, I got no, that's might be a different little story.
Yeah, that announcement right there changed everything. I mean, I guess they're thinking like a winner. They already saying like, look, we're gonna put these jerseys on and we're gonna close it out. They ain't trying to go out there and lose and then play in the jerseys again, game 6. They trying to go ahead and get this over with in 5. Yeah. So I can't blame them. I mean, that'll be LeBron's second closeout in 5 because he got OKC out of there in 5 too.
I about to say, then on top of that, bro, like you talking about winning this series, put you in elite company. And then the only company that he's going to be in, because he's going to win Finals MVP. Davis lost the opportunity. I'm sorry, like when he had 15, like to wait and think about this. So the way I'm scoring the Finals MVP, kind of like a boxing score. Like I think like Braun, I think Davis was, I think AD was 10-9.
He won game 1.
I think 10-9 AD, 10-9 AD in game 2. But then I think Braun had a great round 3. I was like 10-7, 10-8. You know what I'm saying? And when it come down to it, Game 5 is going to probably be the deciding factor. And LeBron is going to be leading his team in points, assists, and rebounds in the finals. As great as David's been on defense, which that's no knock, and that does count. But you lead your team in all 3 categories again. You got to give it to him.
That stat sheet, man.
That's all that counts. That's all that matters.
It's just, man, LeBron is so great. Like, the dude's standard
too high
is, I mean, his standard is he can't do nothing wrong. Like, LeBron get 1 turnover, worst game ever. The bar is so high for dude. Like, missed 2 free throws, he ain't clutch. Like, there's nothing he can do. And like people like Skip Bayless, they don't make it any better because they want to just nitpick anything.
Every single
does,
thing, man. Single thing he does.
Dude, standard. Like, I understand he got chosen one tattooed on him because, I mean, basically from birth he has been the chosen one, man. Like, who get a chance to be born and develop into 6'8", 6'9", 250-pound locomotive, 5% body fat, fast, can jump. I mean, dude can recite the playbook backwards to front, then again from front to back. Dude can make almost any pass in the book, turn himself into a shooter, defender. I mean, what can't do on the basketball court? I know Zeke put out the most complete player ever, and I wouldn't even argue that because he does do everything. Yeah. Like, he does do everything great, not well, great. Like, he got A- and above on everything except for free throws.
This is right. This is year 17. So look, real quick before we get into our other discussions, Iguodala, Finals MVP, 2015, 16 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal, and also because he guarded LeBron well.
Look, man, they rock Curry, bro, but we ain't even gonna get into it.
2014, Kawhi, 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, and he also guarded LeBron well. Now this was I'm gonna read you LeBron James finals right here. 18 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. So that line is better than both Kawhi and both Iggy. Yet we talk about how
he had a meltdown.
He had a meltdown in the finals, which okay, so be it. We put him on a higher standard, and he still got better stats than those guys who got finals MVPs, but they get praised for it while LeBron get criticized. So that's just it is what it is. Either you like him or you don't, I guess, at this point. And year 17, I don't know. I don't know how you are. I know you like riding with Kevin Durant, but he's the best player in the league. I know they had that debate on First Take. Stephen A. Smith was saying there's no gap, but I think it's a little wiggle room in there. So in year 17, so I'm still saying LeBron number 1 for me, and like until somebody take him off that pedestal, I mean he's gonna be 1 next year too.
Yeah, I mean I can't deny LeBron being 1 just because my guy KD ain't been on the court the last 2 years to kind of defend it. You know he's not playing this year, and he missed this past year's most of the playoffs outside of some of the second round and 10 minutes of the final. So
yeah,
I mean he really can't defend the crown of best in the world because he ain't on the court to defend it. So I mean I will never argue against LeBron being the best in the world because the dude's been the best in the world since like 2008. Okay. I mean, like definitively, we're gonna say at least from 2010 to 2011, but like he was in a debate for best in the world since 07, 08. It was him and Kobe. Like I mean, I'm on the side of Kobe ran it from 01, 02ish to like 08, 09. I'm on that side of the fence. I'm with you. But Bron was right there. And even D Wade to a certain extent, but I think Bron was always better than D Wade. So it's like, hey, it's Kobe or Bron, 1, 2 best in the world. And to still maintain that at age 35, year 17, I mean, running outside of the year he got injured, Bron gonna give you 74 games and above, night in, night out. He running 35 to 40 minutes. You gotta think about his early years. Dude was piggybacking the Cavs, and then he was piggybacking some more Cavs.
I was about to say, surprising he had back surgery yet, all the carrying franchise and carrying cities and shit. But even if LeBron like declines 5% each single year, I mean he's still gonna be a top 10 player on his way out of the league. Whenever that happens, I don't see why he would ever retire, but I mean, it don't look that going that way. But
until his body gives out. LeBron could probably play another 7 to 8 years just stuffing the stat sheet. Like, think about outside of his speed or whatever, just straight up declining bad, or he don't want to train anymore, his body just quit. LeBron could still be Ben Simmons at age 42.
He could do what Ben Simmons is doing right now, or if you want to go a little step further down, he can do what Jason Kidd did, where he putting up 14, 10, and 12. Like that's all Kidd did. You know.
Bro, LeBron can turn into Vince Carter. He wants to start busting these threes out there.
Stay in the corner. My turn to be Danny Green, boy. Oh, that's funny. But yes, I think by the next time we go live, next time we drop a pod, that we should be saying
the champs should be here. Shout out John Cena.
With the Lakers and LeBron getting his 4th ring. Let's switch gears real quick. NFL, COVID. We talked about it before the season about how it can affect so many things. I think the NFL got this wrong. We talked about it Tuesday. Got it wrong as far as not having like waivers, like buffers in their scheduling. Like why not have a couple extra bye weeks or designated weeks in between to where that's your makeup weeks and all that kind of stuff. And now you're seeing like how it's going to be it's going to be affecting the rest of the season. You're talking about like the Steelers playing 13 in a row. Kansas City, bro, they play Tuesday, play Sunday, and then play Thursday. So 3 games in less than.
They're gonna hurt somebody. Yeah, COVID, not even COVID. They're gonna get somebody hurt.
Yeah, 3 games in 11 days. That's
basketball type stuff, not
right,
football.
Exactly. So I'm scared for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm hoping that they get out of it unscathed. Which
hey, they already had Gilmore talking to Mahomes.
Patriots already said this, bro. Bill Belichick is a genius. He playing chess moves. He sit Cam out versus the Chiefs for a reason. He tried to get Gilmore to spread a little virus over there to the Chiefs. It didn't work so far, but he tried to get Mahomes out of there.
COVID gate.
And for real, hey, that's what it is, man. Like Buffalo, Tennessee in jeopardy because your boys in Tennessee, man. Oh, like
not my boys.
What's up? What's up with your boys King Henry and Ryan Tannehill and them boys getting together out of high school, working out, no mask throughout the building. They being very lenient on the mask rule. I don't understand. This is really not a hard thing to ask people to wear a mask. I think anybody who still argues this is kind of like you just want to be an a-hole about it. Like you're not even having no good reason why you should not wear it. And now the Bills season in jeopardy just because they might have to play they might have to play 3 in 11 games and Josh. I mean it might be better for them to miss this game because Josh Allen's banged up. But you're talking about the game moving down to Tuesday, so we're gonna have Thursday night tonight, Sunday night football, a doubleheader Monday because the Broncos and Patriots game moved to Monday, and now the Bills and Titans moved to Tuesday. Like, man, they will have one day of break Wednesday, and then back to Thursday football. Like this is. I mean, I guess when we say we need a sports bet, I guess that's what COVID gave us. Like they took it away and gave it back. But the Titans, bro, I don't know. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Like, you think what kind of punishment should they get? Because it's bad.
It's tough, man. Like, I understand where you're coming from when you saying they should have put in like some buffer weeks, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to do it because they already kind of had out. Only way they could have did that was they could have took the training camp weeks or the quote unquote preseason weeks and moved the season up to that.
Right. Yeah.
But at the time they were still debating even playing or not. So like certain things were kind of in jeopardy on that front. Of course, the pandemic hit out of nowhere, and then for the most part, they've already kind of built a schedule in advance of home, away, TV schedule, all that kind of stuff, Super Bowl schedule. They already kind of built it out. Granted, they had the power to change it to a certain extent, but it's like they were hoping everything would go well. But now we got through the first couple of weeks, and everything seemed pretty cool. But now all it took was one team, and they're basically going to throw everybody else in disarray. Like Pittsburgh is getting the short end of the stick. Like, we ain't do nothing wrong, but y'all done took our bye and everything else, took our rhythm away. Now you're finna mess up Buffalo, who's undefeated. I mean, you can't. I know people want to forfeit, but you can't forfeit because now you're hurting Josh Allen MVP case. You hurting people defensive stats. Like you're hurting so many different people in so many indirect ways with a forfeit. So that's not a good idea. I mean,
you really have no.
You really have no recourse because you say on reschedule the games, but at the same time, that means you're gonna have to readjust so many different schedules. So it's when it was just one game, okay, we can flip this, flip that, flip this, flip that, and it's how it works out. But now you going on 2 weeks in a row, maybe even a third week, because right now they hoping no more tests come back.
Yeah. So the
Patriots had a few tests.
My thing is this. So I thought COVID was supposed to last like 2 weeks, right? Is that like all of a sudden they're not getting? Is it like getting any more tests? Like you saw Corey Davis go on the COVID reserve list, so that doesn't necessarily mean he has it, but it does mean something. So so he's not going to play. But what about the other guys in the coaching staff or whoever else got it? So they're gonna be gone for 2 weeks. Is that what the thing is, or is it like 10 days? I believe something like that when you have to stay away. So you're gonna basically miss 2 games when you're doing this.
Yeah, some of it is just the of course a positive test, and then some of it is I think they're doing a thing where they can track who's been close by certain people, so they can kind of see who was in close proximity. Yeah, so like maybe we need to quarantine them and stuff like that. So of course we hoping everybody is safe and sound. Nobody actually is, in bad shape. Because, what if the Titans did have to play a game, bro? A.J. Brown banged up, Corey, Adam Humphries, all on COVID-19 reserve list. So who Tannehill throwing the ball to? John outside of John
Khalif Raymond, boy. He
go get Tajay Sharp, man.
He finally going to throw the ball to Derrick Henry. That's what's going to happen. Man. Derrick Henry about to be the new Kamara, boy. It's crazy. I mean, I knew COVID was gonna be a big part of it, but I'm sorry. Like, I guess the honor code is not good enough to where like guys can go home and do what you're supposed to do. And where you, I mean, if Titans out here just being negligent, I mean, that's just annoying first because, like you said, all the other teams are doing the right thing, and yet you over here doing what you're doing, you costing the whole league. Just one team can mess it up for everybody. And
Pretty much.
You know, hopefully, somebody asked the question earlier. They was like, should Tennessee forfeit their wins? And I was like, well, they can just give Minnesota week 3. Hey, so somebody, I was like, man, that's why Khalif Raymond was so wide open. We didn't want to catch the COVID, But
man,
that's funny. But it's hopefully the rest of the way it gets better. I mean, what kind of punishment you think should happen? Like, if it's found out that they just not listening to the rules, doing what they want to do, what kind of punishment you think is appropriate for them? Because like, do they miss draft picks? Do you fine the owner? What do you do? Because finding the owner, does that really do anything unless he come down and say, if y'all don't wear y'all masks, like I'm not paying. So y'all suspended. Like, what kind of punishment you think is fair?
Honestly, man, it's not really a punishment that you can put on something like this just because of you take some draft picks, but I mean, as long as you hit on whatever you got left. So like, I mean,
that's true.
So, or you can always go trade for a draft pick. So I mean, that really ain't a true punishment. Or you try to start hitting people with fines, like, oh, if you test positive, you're gonna get fined. So now I gotta be sick and get fined, like, and you can't even monitor, like, you're like you can't even monitor like who actually is passing it. So like, why would I get fined for just catching it? What if I wasn't the carrier?
Well, I say more like fine, like if you're wearing not wearing masks in a mask prohibited area, like, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to wear it when you're in the building. If you're found without it, obviously you taking a drink, eating, that kind of stuff. That's on water on the bridge. But
I mean, you can't prevent that. I mean, we gotta eat and drink,
right.
Gatorade or something.
If we on the field in a meeting or whatever it is, and we don't have it on, I think those are type of things that warrant some kind of punishment. I mean, I don't know if that's a.
But that's the weird thing.
But what kind of punishment is it? Yeah.
Like that's the weird thing. You're gonna put 15 minutes on the clock for 4 quarters. These dudes running around, tackling each other, smacking each other, blocking each other, no mask on. But they practicing, or you got to have a mask on in certain spots. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's still weird as hell. That
it's always weird. I don't think there's no norm at all. Like
I'm gonna play a whole game no mask on, but we're gonna go practice, I'm gonna have a mask or something. Like, I get it. I understand. Like, if we're in the weight room or the film room, rock your mask. You sit down being still. Yeah, like we too close to not have a mask on. But like, they ain't wearing it in the game.
I'm about to say I'm cool with it on the field and in the game. Because that's weird. I mean, that's hard to play with a mask on, stopping you breathing. And then some guys opted out because they had asthma and stuff like that. So
I'll say somebody gonna fall out.
Yeah. Where you went? Denver. Play in Denver. And see what happened in the Mile High Stadium when you got a mask on. That's not going to be a pretty sight.
Well, that elevation, something else, boy.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens with them. Hey, I want to get into this, but we're going to take a quick commercial break first, and then we'll be right back.
That's what's needed to get to that next level. I'm Rob Pennell, and I'm going to teach you how to be an offensive machine.
All right, we are back. Let's get into what we want to talk about, Rashad. And that's it. That is, I ain't gonna say your boys again. The Washington team, Washington football team, the Washington Red Tails.
Oh no, that's Haskins and no more.
Haskins and no more.
But not no more though.
Haskins no more. that's the funny part, man. Man. I mean, you said it.
Kyle and them boy now.
I mean, Kyle ain't it either. That's great, bro. We gotta go into this because, all right. So they bench Haskins. And not only did they bench him, they moved him to the third string. Man got demoted twice on his day off. At least he didn't get fired though. He didn't.
Oh no, that's NFL firing.
That's fair. Oh man, you talking about from starter to not even taking reps as a backup quarterback and. He was drafted, top 10? So, all right, so basically what I want to get into first, do you understand the move? Do you think it was the right move? Because what Ron Rivera said was, like, Kyle Allen has a better grasp of the offense. He understands the game. He understands the offense better, and we can win right. We can do what we got to do. But do you think the only reason why he pulled him is because the NFC East is so sorry? Like, that's the first thing. Because think about the Cowboys and Eagles coming into the season had so much praise and hype about being 10, 11 wins. Rivera probably like, okay, he was the first-round draft pick, top 10 in the NFL. Obviously, you don't want to waste that investment, so let's just play him. If we lose, whatever, we'll tank for Trevor, tank for Justin Fields. We'll get somebody else next year and move on. But now that the division is really wide open, like these guys got one win, so does the Eagles, so does the Cowboys. Because you're right here through 4 weeks, you're kind of like, okay, I can go win this right now. So do you think that had anything to do with it, or do you think just obviously the reason Haskins just ain't it?
I'm gonna go both because they've been pretty competitive in their games. It's just the offense. He was drafted top 10 first round, so you expect those kind of guys to come in and make a difference to the offense in some type of way. He got some starts last year. He got a few this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear the critics. I understand the people of both sides saying black QBs have short leash or he don't have enough weapons around him. But I think people forget when you draft these top 10 QBs, you expect them to elevate what you have to at least some extent. And I don't think Haskins had enough reps in college to be a great QB. Like, and then even when he was drafted, the draft room was split on him. I mean, when you split on somebody, it probably won't work out because the people who wanted you really aren't going to be there. Like they were saying, like I think the owners wanted him, but the coaching staff wanted somebody else. So now the people who should be coaching you up don't even really buy into you.
Right.
So you're stuck from the jump, and then your skill set, you're not really a runner, and just accuracy wise, he's not the most accurate guy either. Mm. So your skill set ain't really helping you. The team offensively really not helping you. I mean, last year, you can argue that both ways because they had AP run the ball, keep the pressure off the QB, and this year they still can run the ball. You got a stout defense, keep the pressure off me a little bit. So as long as you make a few plays, as long as you can Nick Foles this thing, man, just get you 2 good plays in the game, some touchdowns, and you kind of straight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand that because you're right there for the division title. Kyle Allen proved to be competent last year with Carolina. He won some games, so I can understand why they would trust him. Now the whole going to third string, I ain't rolling with that because if Kyle Allen ever get hurt and y'all got to put Alex Smith in this game, it might be a tragedy on TV. It might be a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith can have his, like, with that deer with the headlights on, whatever it's called, that little phrase. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not fair to Haskins. Like, regardless of what we think he is, like, I don't think he's a good quarterback. Honestly, when have you ever seen a Ohio State quarterback be good? Like, they don't get the reps because they only play 1 year. Like, they just like Alabama quarterbacks. They usually play 1 year only. Now,
yeah, depending upon how good you are, you're gonna either get 2 or 3 years. Like, it depends upon who you are, though.
Right.
Like Jalen Hurts,
Right, and then Justin Fields may be the one exception. We gonna find out next year, but at this point, Braxton Miller, Terrell Pryor, Cardell Jones, the list goes on. I'm missing somebody else. But like Joe Burrow had to leave because he couldn't even start there. So like he couldn't even beat Haskins out. So that's already a problem as in itself. But it's not fair because he had 3 coaches in 13 games. Like even Jay Gruden, you fired him, you picked with the interim coach, whoever, I forgot who that was last year, and then you got Ron Rivera. So it's not a fair shake for quarterbacks to go through this kind of thing, especially with the one you said like don't have the reps. Like this is not a 4-year starter in college who can come in and or that veteran quarterback who can just take over. Like Matt Ryan, for example, he go through a lot of offensive coordinators, but yet he can still, because he's a veteran, he can get through it. Tom Brady just went from New England to Tampa, and he seems okay right now, because they're veterans. But
we ain't got to mention goats like that. We can just talk about the Case Keenums, the Sam Bradford,
right,
just standard guys.
Standard guy, right. So on top of that, you have all this different change. Secondly, like you mentioned, they really don't have the weapons. Like you mentioned Adrian Peterson. Yeah, I love Adrian Peterson. I think he is not, if not the best running back, he's top 2, top 3 in my opinion. But it's like, okay, he's old. You drafted guys he can never play. Now he's got cut. You got Gibson this year. Scary Terry is a problem. Terry McLaurin is one of the best receivers in the league, and he proves that he's proven that he's matchup proof. I think he's proven that he's D-Hop-esque when it comes to quarterbacks. Like he can do anything as long as he throw it to him. Give me the ball. So so that is one thing that Washington can hang their hat on. Hey, we got that right. The offensive line struggles.
Getting traded away Trent.
Trade away Trent because you don't want to take care of him right in the staff, so that's your fault of your own. The running game is not good. The tight end, Logan Thomas, a former quarterback. That's what you got to rely on your head. Like he's the second guy on the team, a former quarterback. So
Jordan Reed couldn't stay healthy, right, so they had to move on from that.
Right. So you really don't have the fair. It's not, I mean, obviously everybody can't walk in. It's the reason why you get drafted top 10. It's the reason why you're at the bottom. But like Daniel Jones walked into a better situation than Haskins did as far as offensive weapons. He may not have the offensive line, but he had the weapons. Joe Burrow walked into a good coach offensively, with some good weapons. And you can go down the list. But but some guys don't get that fair shake. Haskins, Darnold, Sam Darnold to start off. We bring
even Josh Rosen.
Right, Josh Rosen didn't get a fair shake. So these guys don't get fair shakes, and I guess we want to kind of dive into is like when do you know, like what's the right way to go, or like, because if you draft somebody that's high, you want to get you want a return on investment. You want to make sure that you can win a Super Bowl in these 5 years that you get. Kansas City, check. The Ravens, yet to be seen, but the team is so good and stouted that they should be checked off next year. Russell Wilson did it. Carson Wentz, Big Ben. Tom Brady did it. He was a 2 or 3 year pro when they won the first Super Bowl. So, like, you want to capitalize on when the quarterback is young, you can build your roster, and like you said, if you top 10, we expect big things from you, and that is not what we have seen. And I get the move. I get Kyle Allen can do a little bit better in this system. And all you might can win the division with 6 wins, and that's and that's sad to say.
8-8.
8-8 probably win you. That definitely win your division this year. All you gotta do is make sure you're better than the Eagles with that tie. You good. So, I can understand Rivera in doing this move, but like you said, from 1 to 3, Alex Smith, who hasn't played that tells you something right there. This guy almost lost his leg. His leg was over amputated. He almost lost his life.
Man, I'll say, yeah, he almost lost his
life. And these guys,
and now he on the second string.
They rather play him over Dan Haskins. That's low-key disrespectful.
I guess some reports may come out down the line, and they could be true. They could be, they could be false. Yeah. You just never know. But I'm pretty sure over time there will be some reports come out about Haskins' probable work ethic, or could he pick up the playbook? Was he not learning certain things? Like that stuff always comes out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah.
Whether it's warranted or not, that stuff always comes out of how did somebody get from here to down here. So, I feel bad for dude, but at
yeah,
the same
definitely.
time, it's like you were saying, how do you know when to bail on somebody? I don't think it take that long. I feel like finding your QB is almost like being in a relationship, bro. Like when
When
you
you know,
know,
you know.
and when you don't, you don't.
Yeah,
So it don't take a whole lot of film to see Haskins was it progressing, was it gonna become the guy.
because like
Because like at least guys like Darnold, we talking about him. At least in his first year, he showed flashes of like, oh, he got something. He working with something, or like even Baker, like okay, he struggled, but then he working with a little bit of something. So
yeah,
I think sometimes you can kind of say, like, oh, we got something to work with right here, or like,
you see something,
shoot,
you see
we
something,
got a
yeah.
long way to go.
And I think coaches like see something like I like that, but let's work on this. And like for example, same guy in his class, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had a lot of flashes. Like his first game, he went crazy
He
against
popped.
Tampa Bay. And then one thing you can say about Daniel Jones is what his fumbling issues. That is something you can correct about pocket presence, but it's like at some point you need to get
Man,
that
get a boy
together.
an old line.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Like you got to have O line. Unless you have the mobile quarterbacks in the Lamars, the Russ, the Mahomes who can make nothing out of something, whatever I'm trying to say, something out of nothing. Um, that's the only way you can get away with a subpar line or a line that's below average. But when you have a pocket quarterback or somebody who's not as not I ain't saying you got to be Lamar Jackson speed out here. You just got to be able to move a little bit. And look at Tom Brady. Like he dance around the pocket because he got a great pocket. I think that what makes Tom Brady more of a. I know this is a side tangent, more of a
That
goat.
quick mind, man.
But
That quick mind.
he's too smart because he's not going to have the strongest arm, the mobility of Lamar Jackson. But what he does in the pocket, it's hard to match. And guys like Haskins not going to have that right away as a young guy. And for somebody who take the least amount of snaps, in college, like that's not success. But you've seen the Cardinals. Like there is no blueprint of when like you said, when you know, and when you don't, you don't. And they went from Josh Rosen to Kyler Murray real fast. And like Haskins only had 13 games, and that's it. Like this pretty much for me seals it. Like third
He
string,
done.
that's done. So you win.
Like he might get cut this offseason.
Like let me.
They won't do it now just because they want to keep the depth. Like, what if somebody get hurt or you got to go back and forth?
Right.
But probably after the season, he'll probably be cut or traded for like a fifth, sixth round pick, kind of how they did Rosen to. He went from Arizona to Miami and then from Miami to Tampa. So he'll probably get traded for a low pick if somebody decides to take a chance on him. But I can't think of a team that would risk going after Haskins because we know he ain't going to the Jazz because Jay Gruden down there, he didn't want it the first time.
Right. So all right. So let me go and clarify something. We said he was top 10 pick. He was top 15. Same thing in my opinion, but. So
first round.
So
I mean, he was the second QB off the board, third because it was that was 2 years ago. So that would have been the Daniel Jones class.
Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray. So look,
and Kyler Murray. Yeah.
Let me tell you. Then this just play quick GM. So I'm looking at the draft right now. All right. So who did the Washington team draft this year?
Man, they were the Redskins at the time. We can say it. Okay. At the time, they were the Redskins.
Okay. So but this year they drafted Chase Young. Defensive end stud. We love him. We think he was the best player coming out. Blah, blah. All right. So, guess who went after Haskins last year? Dominating right now in Carolina, Brian Burns. Brian Burns was a baller, right? Coming out. So, imagine if they drafted him last year at DE. They have the second pick in the draft. They don't go Joe Burrow, but you see the flash that Justin Herbert has shown and how much he would have impacted the team right now. Like those things as a GM, that will kind of get you fired too. Like what you could have because of what mistake you made this year that you could have did this year, and you could have had. I mean, obviously, what's a better pairing, Brian Burns and Herbert, or would you rather have Chase Young and Haskins? Like, like that's what you're going to be debating right now if you're talking about some of because it might have been a need last year for Washington to get a defensive end with Payne and all the game, but at the same time. They saw Chase Young. It's like, oh, we need him. Like but if that was what you're gonna do, if you wanted DN, Brian Burns and Herbert would have been obviously the better option at this point. Hindsight 2020, but that's what gets you like fired as a GM. Like when you draft that quarterback, you draft Mitch Trubisky over Mahomes and Watson. Like you do something like that, that's what get you. That would get you almost fired, Ryan Pace. You better hope Nick Foles save you, which he not. So you better that would get you fired, and that's the whole point about the Haskins going like full circle, that's it. That's it. And they gave up on him.
Like, yeah, he's done. Like they were split from the jump about him. Like you're walking into a no-win situation from the get-go. So I mean, you got half the people for you, half against you. Not even against you, just not their preference.
Right, man.
So that's why I said, like, it's kind of like a relationship, man. You either want me or you don't. It's like if y'all didn't really have 100% buy-in on, hey, we're gonna take this guy, pass on him, and take something that's solidified. That's why I like the Chase Young pick. You couldn't miss on that. Every draft board
had him going.
This team needs a quarterback. Joe Burrow, after the season he put on, that guy's a can't miss prospect. If you pass on Joe Burrow, you will get fired. So you had to take him. All right. Now, Chase Young is the best prospect out here. You cannot pass on 99 problems. You got to take this dude, no matter what. And like the game film already spoke for how good he was. So you would have been even more of a fool to pass on him at that point.
And but the thing is, like, if you're not sold on Haskins, why did you feel the need to draft him? That's my thing. Even with Josh Rose, like you was pressured to draft a quarterback, so you just draft one. Like
that's the NFL. You know, I think everybody's kind of in that mode now of if you don't get your QB right, or you have to get the QB right. So at this point, you just gotta shoot in the dark and hope you get it right. Because when you break down every team, and I think we did a while back, we were just kind of talking about it like via text. When you break down every team, everybody either has, you got one segment that has the QB of the next decade. Mm-hmm. You got the teams that got the QB of the right now. Mm-hmm. And then you got the teams that you want a 1-year rental or / your job finna be open at any point.
Yeah.
So you got your Lamars, the Mahomes, the Wentz, the potentially Dak, the Goffs, you know, those guys who gonna be around for the next decade, probably with that same team, more than likely. Then you got the QBs of right now, the Rodgers, who, you know, he on a contract, but he's getting older, the Staffords, the Matt Ryans, where, you know, in like the next 5 years, we start trying to draft somebody.
Right.
Or you got that team that's been to draft somebody, Dalton to Burrow, or, you know, Minshew, Jazz gonna probably draft somebody. Or you got the team like, Derek Carr might be out there. So you're gonna be in one of those 3 categories. You're gonna be in one of those. So it's all about where you going. Cause like Jameis, he was in this same category. Now you go Brady. So you move from draft or get somebody to the QB right now. We got Brady for 2 years, but we know we got to fix this in the next 2 years. But for right now, he's the guy.
Do you think a team like Washington? Obviously, I'll say this right here. I know people will say, "Oh, Washington should have got Cam," but my thing is,
Rivera wasn't gonna do that.
And that's the point. When you have a guy for so long, and you yourself get fired, and then you get another chance, you can't do the same thing you did last time. And you can say, "Oh, well, Kyle Allen." Well, Kyle Allen's a backup. Everybody knows he's a backup. A starter and a backup have 2 different type of understandings, and if you don't, you can't understand.
Kyle Allen was way cheaper too. Like people keep forgetting. Like at the time, okay, all right, you got people from the Bears. Well, they should have got Cam. Well, you got Trubisky, and y'all are kind of in cap hell. So you really couldn't. And plus, you couldn't even go work Cam out, get a physical or none at the time. So you can't go get this dude. The next best thing. And then at the time, I think they were still thinking, we got to start the year with Trubisky. There's no way we can justify putting Cam behind this dude.
You can't at all.
We know Cam's going to kill this dude in camp.
Yeah.
Like that name, like you could have made it through you would not have made it through the first quarter with Cam on the bench.
No.
Soon as Trubisky throw 2 incomplete passes.
Bring me Cam. We want Cam. Yeah.
Even without a crowd, they going to pump, we want Cam in on those speakers.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Everybody know that's the reason why Cam didn't go to Chicago. That's why you should know they go to Washington. You can't have him sit behind Haskins. That's disrespectful to Cam Newton, first of all. Second of all, his persona is too big to sit behind a Haskins. no, this is why I'm no the Melo effect. Why he took a long time for him to get a job. Like you can't bench Melo. You can't bring him off the. You can't do that. That's not gonna fly. So it's the same situation. So like you giving up on Haskins is kind of like what pressure you to like we have to take him. Like you didn't have to. Like you had a better chance to get.
They kind of did though.
But you could have got. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's hindsight 2020.
Because
you could have got Minshew in the second round.
You ran Kirk out of town. So what else you gonna do?
Hey, I put that. So we talked about teams being so ungrateful for what they have, and like, all right. So if you're the Chiefs with Andy Reid, the Alex Smith and Mahomes thing makes sense to me because you know what Alex Smith is going to bring to you. You're right there. You need one more step. I get that. I get taking that chance on Mahomes. A team like Washington, you're not good. You're not about to replace Kirk and be like, oh, we got to take the next step. The Chiefs were making the playoffs. The roster was good enough. Kirk was getting you to 8-8. That's the thing. Like people they don't realize like they call them Kurt's cousins because they didn't care about him at all. And now you don't waste a high pick on a quarterback. you signed Alex Smith, who unfortunately blew his leg out. So I guess that's probably like kind of like luck involved in that. NFL guys ain't like this name that we can no longer say. So like Alex Smith had been sacrificed and he lost his leg. You missed on a pick in Haskins, and now you have to hope Kyle Allen does anything. And I mean, as right now, I mean Washington got a good chance of winning the division than anybody else. So like. I guess.
But either way it goes, whether you draft Haskins or not, bro, they were stuck anyway. Because I mean,
you keep Kirk stuck,
bro. Bro, I like Kirk and I did Alex Smith too. But you were stuck either way because y'all, you draft RG3, he should be your guy.
Yep.
Knee injury, he never really gets back right. Now, all right, he out of town. We're going with Kirk. Now y'all split on Kirk. Do we? Because since RG3 was there, now Kurt rookie money out. Y'all gotta go ahead and give him the franchise tag. So it's like, all right, do we trust him? Do we believe in him? Et cetera, et cetera. Now you run him out of town. You got Alex Smith. You gave him a little bag to come out there from Kansas City. Kansas City basically said, all right, look, we going this direction. He gone. But Alex Smith wasn't exactly lighting it up with the
right
with DC either.
Right.
So I mean, you still turning the wheel in the same spot. Y'all still barely, they made the playoffs a couple years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
but,
one time, yeah.
But you still were kind of just stuck in the mud with the QB thing. So I'm not mad at drafting Haskins. It's just the fact that. Why risk it when you don't have enough film on him, and then your ownership and coaching staff and all that is split.
Yeah.
And then, like most people say, when you get ownership involved in personnel decisions, it's gonna go bad because you have hired a GM and they've got a coaching staff, a scouting staff, training staff, all this stuff to watch these dudes and develop them, but because of your relationship, hey, we drafting that guy, and now you stuck again.
Like
unless you get Trevor, you stuck. Unless you get Trevor, you stuck again.
Right? Because I mean, like, as a Washington team, do you want to draft another Ohio State quarterback? I can't for myself to do it. I don't care what kind of tape Field got. I can't do it either. And you can't.
They better get Mr. Lance Crackers Trey.
that's the best you can do.
Lance Cookies.
I'm about to say, hey. So after Haskins, I'm just gonna name a couple guys, like just to name the talent of this draft and like how you already done with your guy already. Brian Burns, like I said, Jeffrey Simmons on Tennessee, he's balling right now. Noah Fant balling. Darnell Savage, Josh Jacobs, our guy. Hollywood Brown, Montez Sweat on Washington. You got DeAndre. No, never mind. I'm about to say DeAndre Baker, but he in jail. N'Keal Harry,
ridiculous.
Debo Samuel, like this. The list goes. Drew, like you could have got Drew. First of all, Drew Lock was my third. I want to say second or third quarterback in the draft behind Kyler. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess you like what you see,
but see, that was the crazy thing about that draft too. That we're gonna we kind of overlook. After QB2, really after QB1,
yeah.
it all varied.
Yeah. because I knew people who said Dan Jones was nothing, and like they love Haskins, and that's obviously not the case. And even though Jones not all that, I feel like he's better than Haskins at this point. But Drew Lock there, Gardner Minshew, who he had a good college seasons. Like it wasn't like he was bad, but like you just go down the list. AJ Brown went. I ain't saying that. Hey, you could have any quarterback with AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin, like you would have been stacked right now. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I really can't get mad. Like you said, I can understand the draft thing a little bit, but you gotta know when to let him go. And we talk about Sam Darnold. What his situation is. If the Jets get the number 1 pick, do they draft Trevor? Like it kind of like same thing. Do they give up? Baker Mayfield, I think, is gonna be saved by Stefanski right now. Like,
man,
so
I don't know, bro. It's about 5 guys out here right now. Like I'm talking about not older guys, 5 younger guys that they could be out of there now.
Go ahead, give me the name. Who we got?
All right, look, Haskins already out of here.
Haskins gone. Yep,
he's gone. So I think Darnold.
Yeah,
Gase.
I think he on the list.
We can blame
Gase all we want,
but at the same time, Darnold, he didn't start his whole rookie year. What my man had mono last year, and then this year he's regressing. I mean, we can blame it on COVID. We can blame it on opt-outs, the roster.
Yeah, roster.
What about just you individually? Like your tape don't look good.
Yeah, make a bad decision.
So
pick 6.
So he could be out of.
He made Xavier Rose look like the best corner in the league again. Like pick 6.
Yeah. Like he could be out of here. We know Mitch out of here. So that's 3. Daniel
Jones is on that seat. He on that hot seat, man, for quarterback. I'm like he on there. Like they got 3.
Right.
I want to say he got 3 touchdowns already. Like this year, he had 2 in the first game.
Bro,
that's not good.
Yeah, Daniel Jones ain't looking too hot right now.
That's 4.
And then Baker was number 5.
But I think Baker's going to be saved and overlooked because they're going to run the ball.
They got to win 10 games.
He's going to be asked to do so little. Like, do I think Baker Mayfield has more athleticism and probably more upside than Kirk Cousins? Yeah, I would say that.
I don't even know, bro. Honestly, like as a Baker believer, rather him in fantasy, I thought he should have been. I mean, I like Darnold.
Well, I'm saying upside because he's younger than Kirk already in the 30s, Baker like 20 whatever, and he got to have more lessons because Kirk runs so slow. But anyway, like the one
Baker slow.
You're right, but the point I'm getting to is like they gonna run the ball so much. Chubb got hurt, yes, but the offense is going to be so key on like keeping him protected, making him. He's going to have open shot. Like you remember how they were saying like, golf ain't all that when they didn't win the Super Bowl because they had him wide open. Like I feel like that's what Stefanski going to have them guys open. Like OBJ and Landry look amazing against Dallas, but Dallas bad defense. But
no secondary.
Yeah, right. So we'll see how they go years ago. But I think he might get saved. But you're right. I think he could be on that list as very well. You're right, man. And I always say this, bro. I'll be like, why do it seem like it's like 5-6 quarterbacks getting drafted every year, like to meet teams? Because after 2-3 years, they give up on their guys. And you talking about we've seen the most stagnant of quarterbacks like Tom Brady being there for so long, Breeze, Big Ben, Rivers, like the Matt Ryan, Rodgers, those guys being there for so long, like on the teams, and yet we still have this cycle of quarterbacks coming in. And we got 3 more. Trey Lance, all them guys.
But I think people should start looking at every year. You're going to see at minimum 5 and probably around 5 to 8 QB jobs open up every year. Like every year it's going to be 5 to 8. Because Brady leaves, that opens up New England. So now
New England.
So there's Tampa Bay. He went there. Then there's Carolina because Cam was gone. So that's already 3 jobs off the top right there that's open.
Then you drafted Joe Burrow.
Dalton out, so that's Bengals. And then who else did we have this year?
Rivers left. Chargers opened up.
Miami.
They replaced
drafted 2.
That's 6. 2. That's 7. So yeah, 5 to 8. I mean that's every single year. And you're gonna have that same thing because this year's gonna be Raiders, Washington back on there, Jaguars. Trying to think of anybody else on top of my head. Giants, Jets,
bro. Carolina might go for it. I mean, Teddy just on a patch. He does a patch up right now. Like he's not Rule's guy going for it. So if they get in position and Rule like somebody, they'll take him. But they may opt for let's fill the defense out, offensive line out, and all that kind of stuff, and then maybe after the year after draft somebody, something like that.
Where do you think? All right, so what do you think? Like guys like Jameis goes. Would you leave?
He might be stuck.
Would you leave or would you go? I mean, in a good situation with Sean Payton, you learn from him. But would you leave because we had this rotating doors of quarterbacks? Would you go to let's say this because somebody go miss because outside of the top three as of now, like do you believe in Kyle Trask and Mons all those other guys? But after the top three, it's kind of what you know what I'm saying. So like, do teams whether have Jameis who's only 25? Or take this young guy coming out. You know, that's going to be something.
He might get stuck, man. Like, I like Jameis, but he might get stuck. Like, if he don't go to the right place.
He might just need to ride it out.
Because, like, I think he better off being with New Orleans. At least then you can open up Sean Payton offense some more and start going down the field.
If Jameis becomes the Saints starter, not this year, because they don't think they have the deep threat that they need, but if they go in this draft and go get one of these receivers in the draft, and Breeze go and they got Jameis, Kamara, Michael Thomas, and let's just say a name, Waddle from Alabama. I'm just saying a name. Like, but this team could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're already great explosive offense as it is. Like, could be even more explosive. So, the QB carousel is going around crazy, and those guys are on the hot seat this year, and Haskins his seat already burned up, so he done. Like I'm feel bad for him, but at the same time.
Like, unless Rivers get it, like, let's say Rivers retires and don't get it together, I can see that being a Jameis spot just because
I like that.
That O-line and that coaching staff, they could kind of protect him.
It might be Carson Wentz, boy. Your Eagles will get him out of here.
Man, like.
They got Jalen.
I mean, bro, if we look at the landscape right now, we can name some more jobs that could open up. Like, Breeze could retire. Breeze could retire. Dak could leave. Like.
It's crazy.
Like, Deshaun Watson might demand out because O'Brien about to do.
He should have signed that contract. That's what he should have done. He could have been a free man. Well, he's got a franchise tag, but you know what I mean. But it's getting a little crazy, man, and it's hard to like draft a quarterback so high and like fail so miserably so fast as an organization. Because if he fail, you fail because you wasted time. Like now you have to draft another one. Waste another time. Waste another pick.
I mean, that's why so many, along like the QB thing, that's why we have so many coach openings every year because people mess up.
Like, get fired. Yeah, what it is.
Like we can name like 7 coaches that should be fired right now.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really wholeheartedly agree with the O'Brien.
I get it.
But
I get it.
But at the same time, you're kind of stagnant. You're 0-4, so I get it. Dan Quinn should be up out of there. Matt Patricia should be up out of there. Adam Gase should be up out of there. I mean, if Joe Judge don't turn something around, he might be a one-hit wonder out of this.
One hit, no wonder. Shit.
I mean, we saw it. We saw it happen with Bud out there in Arizona with Josh Rosen. They let both of them ride.
Van Joseph, he got it there fast. Yeah, so for the kids out there fast too. So we can happen. Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. Let's dive into it real quick. We got a few minutes left.
Doug Marrone might be up out of there.
Oh, Doug Marrone, he's already his seal's already like he's going. Like they brought Jay Gruden to be the coach. They gonna fire Doug Marrone halfway through the season, let Jay Gruden take over the rest, and then they might just promote Jay Gruden. I mean, might as well.
I don't know. I mean, but it's a lot that can happen. So like the QB and the coaches, them jobs open up 5 to 8 every year.
Yeah. So we got Thursday night football. Not going to go into what we think will happen. Well, okay. This time tomorrow, what do you think happens in the game?
Man, the fold will fold. Nick Foles will not be able to keep up with the Bucs. Nick Foles will fold like a tent against them Bucs, man. That David Montgomery won't be able to run the ball, so you're gonna be one-dimensional offensively.
He gonna throw pigs. Just throw the ball out of Robinson, man. Might give my fans.
So I don't know what Nick Foles gonna do when they're gonna shut your running game down. Like, man, even McCaffrey couldn't get off against the Bucs. So I know Montgomery ain't gonna get off.
Nope, can't play him. Can't.
Like
So
50 yards max.
I'll say this. This time tomorrow, we're gonna be saying Chicago.
You messed up.
You messed up, but Chicago, now what? Cause now what you gonna do? If Mitch ain't it, and Nick Foles not the answer. Now
They stuck.
Now what you gonna do?
They stuck.
Kyle
You got
Allen?
you the inherited Foles contract, so you stuck with him.
You gonna get Kyle Allen? No, you gonna go get Haskins or somebody? No, there's nothing you can do. So now what, Chicago? Like that's the thing. Like I know I can't be talking in my division right now because we 1-3, but like now what you gonna do? You already benched Mitch Trubisky, who's technically undefeated. so you can't be doing this flip flopping back and forth. Like that's not what you're supposed to do. So Chicago, now what? I think the Bucs side, Bucs just gotta stay healthy. Like I know a lot of people saying they're the best team in the NFC, which they very well could be. I mean the Carlton Davis shut down. This guy is turning to like that's the thing. They drafted his guy 2-3 years. They took the lumps, and now he might be shut down corner. And if they get a shutdown corner and Todd Bowles, Patrick Peterson, I think he had the Red Reeves in New York for a couple years. Like
I think that was him.
You had Todd Bowles. If Todd Bowles get a shutdown corner, that's something to be scary about with the Vita Vea, the Sue, the JPP, Shaq.
They have everything, man. If you
Devin White,
when you get a shutdown corner, front 6-7, and just some decent other guys in the secondary. You got to shut down.
That's what's going to win you the Super Bowl. Because yes, having a quarterback that don't throw picks. Okay, never mind. He throw pick 62. But having one that don't do it often.
Man.
Like that's what's going to help them win. Like the defense going to win the game. And man, the Bucs here. I mean, I said they're going to be 8-8 this year. So far I'm looking a little wrong on that. They probably be 10-6, 11-5. So. Hey, I mean, as of right now, they got whatever they need right now to win the Super Bowl. They got the defense, they got the shutdown corner, like you mentioned, all that kind of stuff. I think it just got to stay healthy.
Like right now, I'm gonna still roll with Green Bay as the best NFC team because Adams is hurt for Seattle right now, and they can't afford to miss anything. So
right. I'm about to say the NFC, like you can't even really like, cause Green Bay looks the best, at least offensively for me. Defensively, they showed up against Atlanta. I was kind of surprised by that one. But like, I think everybody had like a fault right now, but that's because nobody perfect. So, like you said, Seattle got no Jamal Adams. The Buccaneers keep getting hurt. Weapons keep being hurt.
God went up out of there.
Man, he disappointed me this year. And then you got other teams: Saints 2-2, Cowboys 1-3. Two teams that we thought would make the playoff, like will be like more dominant so far, and then they haven't been. So it is what it is. But the NFC. They're gonna beat each other. I mean,
it's wide open.
It's too wide open. We talked about it before. So.
Which it always is. I mean, that's been the NFC for I don't know how long.
Yeah, you're right.
A new team makes the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship every year. Like look at the 49ers. They just lost to. They doing bad. They banged up. 49ers, like Rams might make it back this year.
49ers, Rams, Falcons. Who was the year before? Eagles. That's all different teams, and they've been having up and down years all 4 years. So. You're right, man. It's so wide open. It's crazy.
Yeah, the NFC, man, it's a revolving door every year. Like the AFC was always we're gonna get Brady or Manning or the Steelers. Or like it was Brady, Manning, Steelers, or Ravens. If you look at the last 20-something years, that's all you got. Brady, whatever team Peyton Manning played for, the Steelers or the Ravens. Them like the last 20 Super Bowls for the AFC. NFC, man, you're gonna see everybody over there. You're gonna see Giants.
Yeah, that's
you're
it.
Gonna see Eagles.
Everybody. Yeah. I'm about to say that's our time for the night. We are the prophets. Preach care, preach with Rashad, man.